It is December 7th, Friday, noon. Last time I did a video update, I was on my way to the Spoogler Talk Wednesday evening. I thought it was the LinkedIn Entrepreneurial Night, but it was actually, I got my talks mixed up. It was actually cultural integration, in like integrating into Switzerland. What are the challenges and how can we overcome these challenges? It was super interesting, really enjoyed the talk. Got to see a bunch of ladies I'd met at previous events, so it was really nice to like catch up. And it was a really great evening. I learned a lot of interesting things specifically about like integrating into Swiss culture, but also about just, you know, doing a big move that has like a culture shock and a transition period. And she talked about the speaker, and I think her name was Anna. She spoke about like how that applies to any sort of big transition to a new country, a new culture. So that was super interesting. One of the things I learned about, she talked about, was the sort of the adjustment cycle or adjustment period of moving to a new place. So like, you know, the first little bit you have a honeymoon period, and then you enter a crisis, and then you start to recover, and then you reach adjustment. People shared their experiences, whether they were just newly arrived and they're in that honeymoon period. People shared if they were feeling like they were in the middle of that crisis. And people shared what it was like to be on the other side, to be at that adjustment stage where they're feeling good about their transition into Switzerland life and Zurich life. So that was interesting, and it kind of gave me pause and think about like how these first 3 months have been, and how I've been like kind of feeling and how I've been doing. I'm handling stuff. It was a very interesting talk, and we also talked about how like the kind of things that we can do to help integrate, like, you know, taking initiative to go out and be social, you know, taking the time to learn about the culture, taking the time to go out and do things. Hi Simba. It was a very interesting talk. So that was my Wednesday, and Thursday day I had a Spoogler lunch. So we went to ramen at Iko Ramen. It was delicious, loved it. I had sake, I had some miso ramen. There was like 6 other ladies there, so it was a very more intimate group, as opposed to like the morning teas or the the talks, which are, you know, sometimes 20-30 people. So this was a nice, like, quiet little group. We got to know each other, and then after, it was supposed to be French conversation at a coffee shop down the street from the lunch, but because there was a number of people in our group who weren't English speakers, and just the organizer and too was like, just come along, don't worry about like speaking French, you can like chat with people in English. So we all went down to the coffee shop, Boreal Cafe, and continued chatting about stuff, and ordered a hot chocolate there, which was delicious. It's a really good shop. I definitely recommend it. It's pretty close downtown, and the people who are like working it are like, it's a very trendy shop, so like they speak multiple languages. They speak German, French, English, but that was pretty cool. There was, so the tech talk about the LinkedIn stuff was actually last night. I got the nights confused. Okay, so the tech talk that I thought was Wednesday was actually last night. I got the nights confused, and I decided not to sign up for the tech talk about that because I had already, the last few days I've been busy, and I was like, I think I need some quiet time, and it's a good thing I did, because after coffee, I ended up going to the store to pick up a step ladder so that we can finish installing the lights when we get the lights from IKEA. And once I got home with that step ladder, I was like, I'm dead. I don't want to move. As I just flopped on the floor and like watched YouTube until Gianni came home, made dinner, and that was it. I just spent the rest of the night just like zoned out, just waiting to go to bed. But it was a great couple days. I had a lot of fun meeting people. I learned a lot about like Swiss life, and got to try a new coffee shop and a new restaurant, which was great because now I have places that I can like bring people when they come to visit, or like Gianni and I want to go out for dinner, so I can finally start being like, hey, I tried this place and it was good, so let's go check it out. Which is all big pluses. This morning, it's part of the reason, I wanted to do a video update today because I wanted to talk about like some of the great stuff that's been happening in the last couple days, but I also wanted to talk about some of like how I've been feeling in the last, like specifically the last like month or two. Mostly like it's been November that was difficult. It was a hard month. So obviously like bringing it back to what I was talking about earlier with that cycle, or that adjustment period, the integration adjustment period that we were talking about in the culture talk. And I realized that November was definitely like a crisis mode for me. And it's hard to say if I'm out of crisis mode yet, not yet. I'm feeling better, but that doesn't necessarily mean that the crisis mode's over, right? For the most part, I think I am. I think I'm over that. I'm trying to be optimistic about it. I should make a definitive decision. I am over crisis mode and I feel better and we're moving forward. Because getting into this. So this morning I was going through videos to do video editing, and I realized that there's a lot of, like, it's rough. There's a lot of stuff, I'm very like depressed, I'm very anxious, and like it confirmed me like definitely was in crisis mode in November. And part of the thing was that I was going to edit these to post on YouTube to share with my family, and I knew that there was going to be stuff that I was going to cut out. There was a lot of times where I'm just like rambling and going in a circle, and I'm like, oh, that's fine, I can cut that out, nobody's missing anything. But then I came to the parts where I am anxious and am being very vulnerable to the camera about how I'm feeling at that moment, how much like the anxiety has taken over my day that day and how it affected me. And so it's all come to a head where I'm at this point where I want to edit these videos and post them on YouTube, but I'm also afraid to be vulnerable. I'm afraid to share this part of me. I'm worried about how my family and my friends will look at these and see it and what they'll think about me. So that's kind of part of why I also want to do this recording, is because I think this might actually be one of the first ones I post, because I want to assure everybody, not just myself, but anybody who might be watching, that I am okay. Things are fine. I am exiting crisis mode, and that month of November, I think, was a very normal part of adjusting to a new life in a new country. I might not include everything, but I might include bits of stuff. because there's a part of me that says that if it scares me, then maybe I should do it. And this is one of those things that scares me, sharing those parts of me that are vulnerable when I was really anxious about how I was feeling about not having a job and Gianni supporting me, and my thoughts about, you know, whether or not I want to have children in the future and what I'm doing with my life, what the hell is the purpose of my life. All those things come up in my videos over the past month. And like I said, it was rough to revisit it, but coming from a place, and this is how I know I think I'm exiting crisis mode, is I'm watching these, and instead of it pulling me back in and I'm feeling like shit, I'm like, oh, I'm in a much better place than I was a month ago. And that makes me happy. I'm glad that I'm moving forward and I'm not still stewing in the same place I was. Like, I feel like I've made progress. And that's big, because I often, in the past, I know I've been many times where I feel like I haven't made any progress, and that I've been spinning my wheels for many years. And I'm starting to, I feel like I'm moving through that. So I guess the point I want to get to is that if I do post, I'll probably post maybe this one like first, and then I'll go back and I'll post them sort of archivally as like, this is what my journey in the past month has looked like since, you know, since my trip from back from Canada to now. Don't feel obligated that you have to watch everything. Don't feel bad for me. And when you see me not doing well, I want you to know that at no point did anything ever become too bad. I had the support of Gianni, and I had the support of my family. I have the support of the Spoogler group, which has been fantastic. I think they're a big part of what is making me starting to feel better, because they've been fabulous in sharing their experiences. They've been great at providing resources for, you know, how to handle life here, and even just little things like recommendation for a new restaurant that makes me wonderfully happy. And, you know, I've been taking the time to go out and do things that I want to do. Like, I stopped by the anime store yesterday. That was really cool. I've been making a point of taking walks up Uliberg, the mountain that's like not like, it's a walking distance from my apartment, which has been amazing. And sometimes I go through there and it's super foggy. There's some videos and pictures of that, and it's like really neat, but you can't see the city, so it's not like great for like sightseeing, like viewing the city. But like the mist going through the forest looks so cool, and I love it. But then of course there are days like today is beautiful, and I'm gonna go out and get some shots and some film of the city, because it's beautiful, crisp, clear day. It's gonna look beautiful from up on the mountainside. Yeah, but the point being is I am going to be very vulnerable, and I'm going to show a lot of what this process of the last month has been. And all I can think of is when I'm like going through these videos is, good Lord, what the hell is my family gonna think? And I really don't want them to worry, because of course I'm a worrier, and I'm gonna worry that they're worrying about me, because that's what we do. But I also don't like the idea of glossing over the difficult parts, and I don't like the idea of making my life all social media shiny and perfect and look, everything is easy and wonderful, because it's not. And I think maybe my experience will be valuable for somebody. I don't know. If you're moving to a new country, if you're moving to Switzerland, if you're moving to Zurich, you're not alone. It's not an easy process, but it is so doable. You can figure it out. If I can figure it out, anybody can. I've been really enjoying teaching myself how to video edit. I'm gonna pick up back on my writing. I've been mostly focused on video editing the last 2 weeks, but I want to pick back up on writing more. I've been toying with the idea of learning, like teaching myself a little bit of music, writing, mostly just, I guess, composing using like a computer synthesizer. Because why not? Why not, you know? I'm looking at German schools right now. I've narrowed the choice down to a couple that have come highly recommended by people, so I think I'll be doing a trial class probably sometime next week. And then getting Gianni and I to sign up for German language courses, which will be great. That'll help a lot with the integration and starting to feel like we actually are here participating and not just tourists who are blindly groping our way through the city trying to figure out how to do stuff. It's ungettable good. I'm excited. So that's pretty much what I wanted to get out right now. Yeah. Alright, I'm gonna get ready to go up for a walk up the mountain, and I will talk to you later.